What's going on YouTube? Today I want to feature my fully built DIY e-bike. Now if you see my previous video, you will know that this bike is essentially built from scratch. Basically I bought a frame from China and I have built the rest of it. So a lot of people keep asking me, is this the Black Warrior? Is this the Super 73? Is this the Moto Go? What did this bike start off? Once again, it started off as just a frame and I built the rest. So today I want to feature this bike and tell you all about it, the upgrades that I've done. I have well over 1,000 miles on this bike. I built it last year and I've done a lot of upgrades to it since I made the previous video. So today I want to show you guys everything that it is to know about this bike. It is completely done right now. Well, there's only one more thing I want to do, and it is add cruise control. But other than that, it is completely done. If you want to see how I built this bike with the parts and everything, just go ahead and watch this video right here and you can see everything about this bike.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative.
So starting with the profile of the bike, you can see I've got LEDs running all throughout the bike. These LEDs can change colors. They can stay in one color. You can select whatever color. I can select whatever color I want. I have the daytime running lights on the front and also a daytime running light in the back. I have these turn signals that I installed since doing that first video, and I can also have the other side. They're sequential turning signal lights. I also, whenever I turn them on, I have this display right here. This signal, which shows me when they're on. I also have a headlight and tail light, which is pretty bright at night. The funny thing is, I actually don't even ride. I don't turn on the head and tail light at nighttime because the daytime running lights and the LEDs alone are good enough for this bike. So this is the night shot of my bike. As you guys can see, it is pretty sweet. Let me show you guys the turn signal. That way you guys can see the turn signal. I'm gonna turn on one of them. That's the front. And this is the back. So I'm gonna be changing this horn. It's one of those headlight horn. This is what it sounds like. I'm gonna be changing it to something deeper and richer. So I cut the back of the headlight, made a hole, and put the horn in between. This is where the hold horn used to be, so fits perfectly. Oh, and if you're gonna do this, do not remove that screw behind that horn. If you remove that screw, it will not make sound, so keep that in. Now it sounds incredibly loud. This is the actual horn now, just like a motorcycle horn. So here is my display. I'm using one of my old phones as a display for the bike. You can see it shows me my motor temperature. It shows my speed, my battery levels, and just a bunch of different data. Because I am using a Vesc Vesc controller, I can program everything from this display. This is why I can't use anything but a Vesc controller. In this case, I'm using Vesc. It's because the controller is small enough to fit inside here, and I have space for everything else. I have a bunch of wiring in here. A lot of this stuff in here controls different aspects of my bike. So basically, every single power, accessory, brake light, LED lights, everything runs on the main battery. And in order for me to do that, I had to use a bunch of different step down voltages. Now I'm using a bunch of different ones because I wired a turn signal and a brake light into my helmet that require a different kind of setup, and then I'm using the box for my LEDs as well as my charging port for my charging phones and stuff like that. But this helmet light is completely wireless, and it has a turn signal and a brake light, all completely wireless, running from the control box, which is wireless in here. And then I have a flasher relay. Yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff that I need to fit in here. That's why I can't use any other controller. I have other more powerful controllers, but they're just too big for this, and I can't put my controller in here because I have a giant battery that completely takes up the space, as well as tools to change tires and stuff if I ever have an issue. And then this bag, I don't want to put a controller in there because this is my storage bag to carry things, so yeah, that's why I can't have anything but a Vesc, because Vesc is the only thing small enough to fit in here. And besides, I'm getting 50 miles an hour. I don't really have a need to go much faster. And I got side mirrors. I got 2 batteries in there. The batteries that I have is a 17S 60 volt batteries, 40 amp hours. So there is 2 batteries in there that run in parallel, and that's how I power the bike. And I secure it with Velcro, as well as this right here. And to charge it, I have this port right here, which is for one of the batteries. It's waterproof. And then I have this other port right here for the second battery. So they do not charge simultaneously, they just charge independently, and they can run independent of each other as well. And then this is my USB port where I have a USB type C and 2 USB, and these are also fast chargers, so they would charge your phone my phone extremely fast in comparison to other types of chargers. On the motor here, I have a 5,000 watts motor. To secure the wheel, I have 2 torque arms. I have the generic torque arm over here, and I have a different torque arm by Green Motors here on this, to secure it, to make sure that the motor doesn't spin out of the frame and whatever. For the shocks, it's really hard to find a shock that is good for this frame, because it's a 280 millimeter length. Most bicycle shocks are not going to be that long, so I had to buy a motorcycle shock and then change the spring to 350 pounds. So now I have this thing perfect, and I can adjust it, the stiffness with this right here, and I can add hair to it or reduce hair, whatever. This part right here, I actually 3D printed. There's a lot of small 3D printed parts on this bike. As far as the front fork, it's a dual adjustment. I have the air over here, and then I have the rebound adjustment on this side. I have this bag right here. This is actually not a battery. This is a bag that I keep a lot of stuff. You can see I have literally a drone and just a bunch of stuff in this bag right here. Now I'm doing this video on the street, so there's gonna be a lot of people stopping to ask me about this bike. But you can see on the back too, I once again have turn signal. Now I want to show you something cool that no one actually does, and that is my helmet, right? So I have this custom, well, not custom, but I have my helmet here, which is this right here. Whenever I use the turn signal, the lights on the helmet are also gonna change. Wireless. As far as mud guards go, I have the mud guards in the front, which is not the best looking, but it works. For the rear, I have this right here, which is short and it looks nice. However, when it rains, like today, where it's kind of wet and ugly, there's a little bit of splash that actually falls on top of the on the seat, and on my back. So what I've done is, on the days that are like this, when it's wet, I have this thing right here which actually attaches. Now the way I designed this is actually magnetic. So I have two magnets on this part right here, and I have this 3D printed part that goes on it. So the way it works is, underneath there's 3 magnets, and this attaches to it. Now because I'm doing this with one hand, it's hard to show, but this goes right here. Now even without this, in the past I've had just the magnets holding this without this, but I just wanted to add this as more of like a security. So this hooks in the back, and then this part right here connects via the magnets and on this right here. So it is absolutely not going anywhere. So when I'm riding at a higher speeds, this thing is very, very secure. Now it doesn't look the best, but it does the job, and that's why I have it that way. So instead of this constantly on, because I don't like the looks, you know, whenever it's wet, I can just put this on, and if it's not, I can easily take this off. This, like I said, if it's on an ugly day, then I'll have this on. If it's not, then I'll just keep it to the side. And if I think it's gonna rain a little bit while I'm out, I'll just put this in the bag. You know, when I first posted this bike, a lot of people would say, oh, 72 volt is the way, you gotta get 72 volt. Look, first of all, not everybody wants to have a 72 volt e-bike. Now, would I rather have this as a 72 volt? Absolutely. But for one, I don't have the money to go 72 volt after investing 3 different batteries of 60 volt. And 2, when you're talking about going 72 volt, now you're talking a lot more power on a bicycle. Like, bro, if for me to go 72 volt, I would have to have an actual motorcycle fork. I would have to have an actual motorcycle brakes, an actual motorcycle everything. I don't want to risk my life, you know, just at the expense of trying to go fast. Going fast is fun, but at the expense of my life, no, it is not worth it. So I am perfectly fine with 60 volt on this e-bike. If you want to do 72, go ahead and do 72 on your bike. But please stop telling me, oh, you gotta go 72. No, I have what I want. I have what I want, and I'm content with it. When I want to go 72 volt, I will go 72 volt on a different frame e-bike, on a completely different e-bike. So yes, I'm not saying 72 volt is not good. I will absolutely go 72 volt eventually, but it would not be on this frame. It would definitely be when I have enough money to invest in everything else. A lot of people just are all about power and battery. They forget things like suspension, brakes, the actual frame. Like, there's so much that goes on a motorcycle that makes it a lot safer than all these frames. Like, these are bicycles. They weigh, maybe the heaviest e-bike will be like 200 pounds. A motorcycle is going to be much heavier than that. So it's going to be a lot more stable. When you hit potholes on a motorcycle, you're a lot safer than when you do it on something like this. So for me to go 72 volt again, once again, I will absolutely be using motorcycle parts. If you want to do 72 volt on your e-bike frame, go ahead. You know, it's your life, it's your money, it's your health, you know. But for me, this is perfectly fine. I mean, going 50 on a bicycle, like, bro, I'm content with this. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for just clicking to watch me talk about my e-bike.